Hi and welcome to this third video lesson about string bending in country guitar. In the last video we started talking about pedal steel imitation and we looked at how to bend the lowest note in a double stop. In this video we're gonna carry on with the pedal steel imitation and we look at how to bend two strings at the same time. Now that's a very advanced technique, so approach it only if you feel very confident with the basic of the bending technique that I showed you in the last two videos. Also, make sure you're using very light strings, something like 9 to 42 should be perfect. And a good idea is to tune down the guitar a semitone or a whole tone down so you can learn the movement without putting too much stress on your hand. And then once you've learned the technique, then you can go back to standard tuning. Anyway, I hope you'll enjoy it. Let's play a double stop on the G and B strings. Fret 12 on the G and 11th on the B. I'm using the third finger on the G and the second finger on the B. The index is muting as normal. What we want to do now is bend both strings a semitone up. Now this is where we are, this is where we want to go, and this is how we want to get there. Keep all the fingers together because that's a very strong position. We don't want to spread the fingers like that because that's a very weak position. So to bend the two strings, don't think about moving the individual fingers. Just keep the fingers together as one and move the wrist as you would normally do for a single string bend. Like this. Remember that this is the motion. Okay? Only wrist, there's no movement coming from the fingers. Let's practice it mechanically like we always do. Something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Once this motion becomes pretty easy, just try to bend a whole tone up. So this is where we are and this is where we want to go. The technique shouldn't change. All we want to do is just rotating the wrist slightly more. And again, we want to practice it mechanically. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. The last shape I'm going to show you is the 11th on the G and the 11th on the top E strings. This is another common shape. And as you can see, these are two strings which are not adjacent. We want to bend the G string up a whole tone and the top E up a semitone. So this is where we are, this is where we want to go. And this is how we want to get there. Now instead of thinking about bending the individual strings, as before, just keep the fingers together as one and bend it up. And just focus on one of the two strings. Let's say that I'm gonna focus on the top E strings. So I'm gonna forget for a moment that I'm bending the G string as well, and I'm trying to get the top E in tune. Using this approach, you are most likely to end up with what you're looking for. Now that you know what the movement is and where it comes from, let's see where we can use it. Instead of showing you 3 separate licks, one per each move we've looked at, I'm just going to show you a slightly longer lick that incorporates the 3 moves. We'll play it over a backing track that goes around A, D and the E chord. It's kind of a ballad because I think that's where this kind of stuff sounds best. We start on the 9th fret of the G and top E string. We want to bend the top E string up a semitone and the G string up a whole tone. So this is where we want to go. After that, play the 9th fret on both strings and then the 7th fret on both strings. Then we play the G and B strings, G on the 11th and B on the 10th. and bend them both up a whole tone. So this is what we are aiming for. Then 11th and 10, 9th on both. Then we go down here and we play the 5th fret on the G and the 4th on the B. And we want to bend it up a semitone, which is this. While you keep the string bent, play the top E string on the 5th fret. So they kind of ring together. Then again, 5th on the G and 4th on the B. Move it down a semitone, 4th on the G and 3rd on the B, and finish with the 2nd fret on both strings. And this is how it goes. I hope this helps you to understand how to play these complicated double bends. If you want to hear more of that stuff, you should definitely check out Jerry Donahue from the Helicasters. He's the absolute king of that kind of stuff. Anyway, if you go to my website, you'll find the backing track for practicing and all the exercises that I've showed you. Thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you soon for more country madness.